Hello and welcome back. So the second topic we're going to look at and what most people requested to do is conflict. And I'll use my marriage as just an example because we've had a lot of conflict. So conflict is basically just a disagreement that continues for some time and causes either parties to be aggrieved or you're just not okay with the situation as it is. So in a marriage setup, what are the fuels? What are the things that fuel conflict? Um, One of the things that fuel conflict is the fact that you're just two different individuals, different personalities, and that fact that you're different is a source of conflict as it is before you even do anything. The fact that one is a man, the other one is a woman, melancholic, sanguine, that's a ground for conflict. I think that fueled conflict in a marriage is that you are human, and as human you have weaknesses, you have faults, you have time that people judge you, people misunderstand you. There are times you do something with the right intentions but it's interpreted the wrong way. There are times that you know the right thing to do but you end up doing the wrong thing. I have been a victim of that. So the fact that you're human is a fuel for conflict. So, and the fact that you're human, meaning that you have weaknesses, you should not expect perfection from your partner if you yourself are not even perfect. So be a little careful on that. Background and upbringing was also another major source of conflict in a marriage. You're brought up in a family, let's say you're brought up in a family where you are three siblings, and the three siblings work was divided equally. So you'll expect that your partner will also be involved and share in the work equally. But whereas your partner could have been brought up in a family whereby they had nannies, they had housekeepers, gardeners, they did nothing other than eat. And so they are wondering, why do you want me to help in this? No, that's not how we do life. So the fact that you come from different backgrounds, that's also something that could fuel conflict in your marriage. Another interesting aspect was the order of birth. I had mentioned that earlier before. So a firstborn is more oriented to giving direction, to planning, and to just sending people, asking people to do things and expecting results from other people. A lastborn, however, is more inclined to following the lead of someone else and following instruction. So for example, the best marriage would be whereby there is a firstborn and a lastborn, because one is leading and the other one is comfortable following instruction. And you can find yourself in a marriage setup where both of you are firstborns. That's the case in my marriage. And so both of us were giving orders, both of us want to be respected, both of us want to be should I say serve, quote unquote. Like I would subconsciously send my husband around and I would expect him to do whatever I've asked him to do. The same thing he would want me to respond like his other siblings would respond when he sends them. But the reality is now we are not a firstborn, secondborn scenario. You are equal partners. So the order of birth, that was an interesting thing that we learned, was a source of conflict even in our marriage. In-laws, and I say this with all grace, think of it this way: you knew your partner for 4 years before you got married. That would mean that you met for 4 days in a week. In a year, those are about 200 days. And then you dated for 4 years before they made the decision that it is you. So they were able to learn your personality, how you relate when you're sad, when you're happy. You showed up for them, you encouraged them, you laughed with them, and these are the moments that built up your love until you decided to come to a point of marriage. But now with the in-laws, they have not had the same chance to meet you, to be with you through life, to laugh with you, to go through pain with you. You're just introduced to them, and now they're expected to accept you. And so for the in-laws, do not expect them to love you as much as your partner loves you, because they have not gone through the journey with you. Even though you're a nice person, it will take time for them to know you and to accept you. So for the in-laws, just your expectations of them will just be, basic decency and respect, the one that you could accord to any other person. But do not expect love and admiration and adoration from your in-laws. No, that's too much. Also, maybe for the mother-in-law, I would say this, because for all mothers, their child is the best. Their child is perfect. To my mom, I am the perfect daughter she could ever have. To my husband's parents, he is the perfect child. And so you cannot expect you to be comparing and them to choose you over their own child. That will never happen. So just have the most basic respect for your father and your mother-in-law, because you need them. And if you're a wife, is what helped me navigate my situation, is that I figured out that I got married in my 20s, so I was in my mother's house for 20 something years, and then if I die at 80s, I will be at my in-laws for more than 60 years. So if I was to accomplish purpose, that would mean that my mother's house served to prepare me and lay foundation, but my purpose, the fruitfulness, the battles, and the impact will be served in the house of my in-laws. And so there is no need fighting the people who are part of my journey to purpose. You embrace your in-laws. There are things that fuels conflict, is that we do not exist in isolation. And this I said it because either of you come home together as husband and wife, but you have friends, you have colleagues, you have church mates, and all these people have demands on you. And so conflict will arise when your church needs you to do something, but your partner wants you to do something else. Your work wants to send you out, and that weekend is your partner's birthday. So those are just things that fuel conflict in a marriage situation. The basic thing that I've learned with navigating conflict is that conflict does not mean that the one who afflicted you is an evil person, or they no longer have good intentions for you. We have said everyone is human, and any two people living in the principles of the Bible of respecting one another, bearing the fruits of the Holy Spirit, patience, love, joy, kindness, self-control, gentleness, any two people can live together. So the fact that the two of you have chemistry and you love one another, that means you can navigate the conflict that has come. Over the course of marriage, I've also realized that conflict will always eventually come. So be prepared for it, yes, but more so plan and prepare for fun days. Conflict will come. When it comes, you won't be ready for it. Never will you be ready for conflict. So prepare for fun times, so that when conflict comes, it just has a small portions, and then you move on. So what has helped for us is that, for example, date nights work, and maybe this weekend we are doing this, next month we are doing this. So for example, we have a conflict on Monday, and we know on Friday we are traveling together. Chances are by Wednesday we need to resolve, because if you're going for a road trip, we'll need one another and we need to discuss things. So when you have planned for fun times, when conflict comes, they just have a small duration of time to affect the two of you. Another thing I've learned in my marriage, which is very interesting, is that conflict affects both men and women. Yes, both men and women. But as ladies, conflict becomes deeper because we use emotions to navigate or to explain, or even to receive the kind of conflict or anger that has been meted to us. So I learned that the woman's brain, everything is connected. The house rent, food, nanny, children, housework, office work, everything is connected. But to the men's brain, things work in isolation, in boxes. So like he's in the work box, he's thinking about work. He's in the at home, he's in the home box. If he's in the wife box, he's not in the child box. Like they do not have interconnection between different aspects of life. And that's where you find your husband who just staring at the TV, and they have also a nothing box, which was very interesting. Like he can just stare and there's nothing going on in his head. You'll ask, what are you thinking about? And it's nothing. At first that used to be like, how do you just not think about anything? But I've learned to accept that's how men's brain work. Ours don't work that way. So if he's in his nothing box, allow him to be in his nothing box. But the fact that also now for the men, the fact that to your wife everything is connected, you need to understand that when you do something wrong or something not as per expectation, it goes a longer way than you'd experience. An example for us was that let's say we decide we are meeting for coffee at 4, but he shows up at 5. He shows up at 5 because something extended, or he met with a colleague, they were talking. To him, he apologizes for coming late. But for me, this 1 hour means that you've upset I had planned what we're going to discuss for the 1 hour. That 1 hour I would have done, window shopping or something. I would have I would have made phone calls. I would have passed via, shop B to pick a shoe, shop C to pick a handbag. I would have done so much in that 1 hour if only you had told me that you're going to be 1 hour late. So conflict are normal part of life. Just learn how to navigate them. Thank you.